I'm thrilled so many of you are here to join us and learn more about the management, finance, and industrial organizational psychology community at Extension. I'm the director of the business and management programs at Extension, and I've been working in academia for 3 decades at the intersection of business, innovation, and education at MIT as well as Harvard. I spend my time on supporting the statistics that you see on the slide, which includes creating new courses, recruiting instructors, and supporting the student experience throughout the program. Whether you're looking to break into management, finance, or industrial organizational psychology, or simply advance your career in the space, now's the ideal time to upskill. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, there will be an 8% management job growth over the next decade. Our management community consists of hardworking, passionate, diverse, and global learners. Our students have an average of 7 to 10 years of professional experience. The average age is 35, and 84% of our students are fully employed while getting their degree. Typically, students take about 1 or 2 courses per term and finish a degree in 3.5 years. I work with marketing and industry professionals to help create new products and pilots to support student needs as well as industry trends. This year, we will be offering a new micro certificate in advanced negotiation. We've offered several new courses in AI, and we have a new joint course with Harvard's iLab. Now I'd like to turn it over to Lynn to talk about the degree requirements.
Thank you, Laura. So as we've mentioned, we offer master's degrees in management, finance, and industrial organizational psychology here at Harvard Extension School. For each of these degrees, you'll complete 12 graduate level courses. Most can be completed online, but 4 credits will need to be completed on campus. Regardless of which degree you pursue, at Harvard Extension School, your admission journey begins in the classroom. We have an earn your way in admissions policy, meaning you apply for admission after completing your 3 pre-admission courses with a final grade of B or higher. We're committed to meeting our students where they are now, rather than judging past performance, and we don't require standardized test scores. We're asking you to prove yourself now in the classroom. And these pre-admission courses are a great way for you to test our graduate level coursework. And these courses do count toward the 12 courses required for your future degree. Many degree requirements have multiple course options to choose from, so you can really tailor and personalize your course path to your goals and the skills that you want to focus on. Throughout your time with us, we have other opportunities for deeper learning. We have stackable micro certificates. As Laura just mentioned, we have a new advanced negotiation and conflict resolution micro certificate, which requires 2 courses. We also offer micro certificates in project management methodologies and statistics. And the great thing about these micro certificates is that they can stack to some of our graduate certificates. And most of our graduate certificates require about 4 courses. Some examples of these include strategic management, real estate finance and investment, equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging leadership, and innovation and entrepreneurship. And the great thing about our graduate certificates is that you can stack those toward our master's degree programs. Stacking certificates requires some planning ahead, and so I strongly recommend that you work with an advisor on a course plan if that's something you want to do. Our 2 student panelists completed certificates while obtaining their degrees, so we'll hear about their experiences a little bit more in a bit. We also have opportunities for degree candidates outside of the classroom. The Faculty Aid Program matches degree candidates with Harvard faculty who need research assistance, and these are paid positions. Degree candidates can access the Harvard Innovation Labs, as well as many other facilities on campus, such as libraries and the Smith Campus Center. And we also have the Mignon Center for Career Success, which offers personal career advising to our degree candidates and alumni. I'm now going to pass it back over to Jacqueline to kick off our community coffee chat discussion.
Thank you so much, Lynn and Laura, for that insightful presentation. it seems like there are a myriad new things that we're going to be offering this year. I would now like to introduce our other panelists who will join Laura and Lynn for our Q&A to answer your questions. So to kick us off, Teo, could you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Sure. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for attending. It is absolutely my pleasure to be here with all of you. I'm one of the instructors at Harvard Extension School, and specifically what I teach is real estate investment. So as most of the instructors at Harvard Extension School, I'm a practitioner as well as an instructor. As I tell people, I do what I teach, and I teach what I do. I'm trained at both Harvard and MIT in real estate. I am a founder and a principal of my own real estate investment firm. So far, it's been my pleasure to have over 7,000 students come through the real estate classes that I teach, and I certainly hope that I get to meet some of you watching this.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Teo. And I think I heard actually that you were recently awarded the prestigious Counselor of Real Estate designation. So congratulations on that. And I also have to say, I have heard from so many students about how impactful your classes have been and how actually exciting and fun and engaging the active learning weekends have been. So we're thrilled you're here to join us today. And to everyone watching, we have a great faculty member joining our roundtable. So thank you so much, Teo, for kicking us off. Next, Arame, congratulations on recently graduating. Could you tell us a bit more about your journey here at Extension School?
Absolutely. Thank you and good morning, everyone. So excited to be here. As a newly minted Harvard Extension School grad, I'm just ecstatic about the possibilities that the Harvard Extension School affords its alums. In our world of digital transformation, the upsurge of AI, as Lauren mentioned earlier, and the rapidly evolving nature of work, this degree has been phenomenal for me. It has enabled me to perform a personalized SWOT analysis and become a technocrat that commands a sharpened mind, having been equipped in this program with an enhanced comprehension of the ethos, pathos, and logos of leadership in organizational psychology. This degree has equipped me to walk boldly, to run swiftly, and fly higher than I ever imagined. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. You put that so beautifully, to walk boldly. I love that. Thank you so much, Arame. And last but not least, Tomas. Congratulations also to you on your recent graduation. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and maybe a little bit about what, now that you've graduated, it feels like to be part of this community?
Hello, thank you so much for the invitation. Yes, I am very happy that I just graduated. It's a pleasure to see Professor Teo. I actually took two of his courses. Okay, it was very nice. Harvard Extension School, to be part of the Harvard community, it's something as an international student that it's something you just dream of. I am from Venezuela, but I am based in El Salvador. So I took all my courses online. I did a little bit of everything. I took one course, one semester, two courses. I did summer school. I did the January intensive session. Okay, so I could tell you as a student that Harvard Extension School basically adapts to the reality of each professional. Okay, so it adapts exactly to what your needs are. Okay, so again, the courses are very interesting because I even did things on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and AI, which are things that not many universities out there have. Okay, so definitely to actually have the degree with good grades, and it's just going to shape the next step of my career. So I am thrilled to be part of the Harvard Extension School.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we're so glad you're able to join us. And it kind of reminds me too, to mention this fantastic statistic I recently heard, that this past year, we had students from all 50 United States and over 115 countries. So we truly have a global community here at the Extension School, and we really try to provide many flexible offerings so that our students all over the globe can learn with us, can excel with us, and achieve their goals. So thank you so much all for the introductions. And a reminder to everyone who's joining us today to put your questions in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, and we will triage those to our panelists. So to officially kick us off, if everyone could raise your mug, I know Zoom might cut it out a little bit, but this will be our unofficial start to the coffee chat. Perfect, thank you. Awesome, awesome. All right, so I heard a little bit about this before when everyone was kind of introducing themselves, and Laura from you at the beginning, but a few people were asking, how will the programs address the growing need for increased technological training to keep up with today's technological advances and business needs? And kind of expanding on that a bit, how do these programs evolve to stay current with the rapidly changing and evolving market?
Ooh, great question. So let me try to unpack that a bit. What's wonderful is I work with a talented team in marketing who are always looking at what are the trends, what are people looking for in programs. Also, I have a smart advisory board full of industry professionals that are talking about what industry is looking for and what their expectations are in a program and outcomes. And so I work with them. And one thing that I really appreciate about Extension is that we're very entrepreneurial and we're very agile. And so what's great is we can adapt and change to trends. For example, before the pandemic, design thinking was a real focus. As Tomas mentioned, blockchain, we had a lot in blockchain, fintech, cryptocurrency, and now we're seeing a shift to AI. Also in some of the core courses, for example, in marketing, we're offering a search engine optimization, we're offering digital marketing. So we're really thinking about how core competencies and how skills are changing in this everyday market. And what I'd like to also bring in, which I think is a unique factor about Extension, and people have mentioned it, is that you can get micro certificates, which are 2 courses. So it's a relatively low barrier to entry. But what's also really nice is that these are degree bearing or credit bearing courses. And so, as Lynn mentioned, you can stack them to a certificate or you can stack them to a degree. But what's really nice is with even just a 2-course certificate, it signals in the marketplace that you've spent time, energy, and effort and hard work earning a micro certificate. And then a certificate is 4 courses in a specified area. So I'll let you know that quite a few of our students have master's degrees and even PhDs. But what they want is also something that helps to signal in the marketplace to their employers that they've taken the time to kind of augment their skill sets.
Perfect, Laura. Thank you so much for that. And a recent statistic that we also came across was that 90% of certificate earners say that it helped them with a career change or career advancement, or they saw some sort of impact pretty immediately after completing their certificate. So I think that's great to let everyone know about right from the start. And kind of along the same lines, Teo, could you tell us a bit about how you keep, your curriculum and what you teach in your classes current year after year, semester after semester?
Sure, Jacqueline. So one of the things that helps keep our courses current are the students. So, you mentioned we have a global audience of students, and every semester that we run our courses, we get to bring in students from around the world and from a diverse network of experiences. So just for example, again, I teach real estate investment courses. So this semester alone, we have students that are running multi-million-dollar institutional investment firms. We have entrepreneurial real estate students. We have a student just last night, we were having a session where a student came in and using the tools that they learned in our courses, and this is their words, not mine, they used the tools they learned in our courses to do a multi-million-dollar real estate investment development that they're working on right now. And they brought that information into the classroom so that all of the other students could engage and discuss it. And so what I would just say is, to your question, I am a real estate practitioner. I've had over 20 years of experience in real estate development. I do what I teach what I do. So I bring that experience into the classroom with me. but I also bring in all of the students and their experiences. So through our live classes, we are constantly updating and refreshing our courses to make sure that we're on the leading edge of what's going on in our industry. And it certainly is a pleasure for me to be able to do that.
I love to hear that. And I've also heard from so many students too that not only are they learning from, industry experts, but their peers. The majority of the people who are in these classes have some level of professional experience, or they've been in the working world for a couple of years now. So they're bringing all of their different perspectives, their global perspectives, their industry perspectives to the classroom. And I think that really makes a difference here at the Extension School. So thank you so much, Teo. And Erme, I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about your experience working with HES faculty or being in the classes.
Absolutely. And I can go if you'd like me to. One of the core strengths, one of the core strengths of the HES program is its flexibility. It allowed individuals like me balancing the demanding profession and personal commitments. But by background, I'm an emergency medicine physician with the VA. I'm also a mother of 3. Now, that's a lot to juggle. But one of the things I found with this program, and when I came in, the 3 things I was looking for was number 1, flexibility. Number 2, family life balance. And then number 3, world class. Where else do you get all of that? Right here. I found the program very accessible, very accommodating. Laura and Lynn served as my faculty with emotional intelligence. And it's just an excellent group of people, not just faculty, but people to work with. The flexibility definitely is formidable, but one of the things I loved most about it is that it allowed me tailor my learning needs my needs to the learning areas that provided. So I talked earlier about a SWOT analysis. This course or the program allowed me enhance my strengths, look at my areas, figure out, okay, this is a strength for me, conquer my weaknesses, take advantage of the opportunities out there with connecting, networking, while eliminating the threats in my personal and professional domain. So I'm really excited about this.
Thank you so much, Erme. And Tomas, I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more from the international student perspective. Did you have any difficulties with classes in terms of attendance as an international student? How are you able to kind of network and form community while engaging in distance learning?
Yes, well, it depends entirely on the type of course you take. Harvard Extension School has live courses, but also has like on-demand courses. Um, Again, you can rely not only on video courses, but also on the teacher assistants, which I think is something that is crucial, okay, for Harvard Extension, because as as in any part of education experience, sometimes there are things that are not so clear in class, so you can always strengthen some concepts and questions with the teacher assistants, okay. And each teacher, each course is a little bit different. I am personally not in an Eastern time zone. I am 2 hours behind, okay. So to me, that was sometimes tricky to see live courses during the week, but then I always knew that I could wake up very early and start studying. So I would say one of the most competitive advantages of the course is that it offers you options, okay. It offers you options, and you can adapt according to the reality you have at that specific period in your life. So as an international student, being able to see like so many examples and students, not only from the US, but from around the world, from Europe, Asia, it makes it enriches the conversation, and because it's different point of views, different angles, okay, and that's just something that makes any conversation and any discussion very, very very good.
Thank you so much. And I think you hit on a big point here, which is flexibility. And over the past few years, we've really worked on trying to standardize our different class offerings so that across all degrees and certificates, there's different options. So as you kind of alluded to, we have live attendance where you'll watch it live with everyone. We have somewhat on-demand asynchronous classes, and that has been a big hit for international students who are in different time zones. And then we have some courses that are on campus. And I can't understate that or overstate this enough, that these are fantastic opportunities to really explore and experience Harvard and to experience the community. And I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit later in this discussion. But kind of jumping back in time a bit, I want to just hear from our students, how did you decide to earn a degree here, especially, at Harvard Extension School? What were the motivating factors and what was your decision process like? So Arame, if you could kind of kick us off by telling us, why did you decide to learn with us and kind of how you decided on studying IOP here?
Absolutely. The world is changing. Everything's changing, especially post-pandemic. And looking at my career trajectory, I began to realize there were tools that I was going to need, and I did not have them with the changes in everything. And so that was one of the biggest things that led me to thinking, okay, I need to learn to lead. I need to understand innovation, organizational culture, especially within the VA system. And so sat down, looked at the options out there. Now, I mentioned three things earlier. Flexibility was a big one for me, but world class. Where can I get world class and know that I'm getting the best wherever I go? Um, and I have a degree that I can use and it speaks for itself. That was one of the reasons where Harvard came into play, and that was in the foremost. And then I began to look at the course offerings and say, okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is where I'd like to be. How can I navigate my way there? What courses can help me? And when I began to look through the curriculum, I'm like, this is amazing. Why not? And so for me, that was one of the biggest things in making that decision. Why HES? Why go this route? That's where we're at.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Lynn, I have a question coming in the chat that's asking if you could explain a bit more about the difference between the industrial organizational psychology graduate degree and our management degree. And I know, Arame, you just give us some great examples of how you kind of came about the process of choosing IOP. But Lynn, if you could kind of tell us a bit more about some of the key differences and why someone might choose one over the other.
Sure. So both programs aim to enhance organizational performance, but they do so from different perspectives and with different sets of tools and methodologies. IOP is focused on the psychological and behavioral aspects of the workplace, and management is focused on organizational leadership, strategy, and business operations. The objectives for IOP are to improve employee well-being and organizational performance through psychological principles. The objectives for management are to develop effective leaders and managers to enhance organizational efficiency and achieve business objectives.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that explanation between the two. And kind of jumping back again, Tomas, I was wondering if you could tell us and walk us through how you decided on your degree and why Harvard Extension School.
Okay, it was during the pandemic, actually. I was going crazy as everybody else, I'm pretty sure. And I had a new job, but which was related to finance. So I took the credentials of readiness. So I took that in 2020, okay? And then after I finished that, just by browsing on the Harvard website, I learned about Harvard Extension School, and I learned that I could actually go into and take the master in finance if I could have a B plus grade in 3 essential courses. And then I value all of my options, and I dreamt of going to Harvard. I mean, I always thought that there's Harvard, and then you have distant seconds, okay? And then I was like, let me see what type of degree this is, okay? Because to me, that was something that was important, okay? I didn't want something like with online or something that that says like your effort is not worth enough, okay? And then I looked on the website and it says, well, not only your degree says master in finance, but it doesn't say anything about online, okay? And you actually get to graduate, okay, in Cambridge, okay? So when I saw the commencement videos about you just walking through the people that are graduating from law, from psychology, from finance, from education, like all the things there, that was overwhelming. So that made my decision pretty simple. And then like my last thing was, let me just check who the teachers are, okay? Because I didn't know if the teachers on the extension school were you know, like not major league, but like AAA, just to make the baseball analogy, okay? And then I started seeing the teachers, and was like, these are the same teachers that are actually in Cambridge, okay? And then I saw, which was fascinating for me, like as a finance guy, I saw many of the teachers, not just all of them, who are actually practitioners in their field, okay? So they're not going to teach you something that are, you know, in the books, okay? But, you know, going back to Teo, you know, Teo works in Colorado. I know all about what he's doing in Denver and all the things. So he's talking about things that happen in real life, okay? So that for me is something that is basically priceless, and that made my decision.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I can't state it enough again, how incredible our faculty are, both in terms of how passionate they are for our students and, you know, going the extra mile and really trying to individualize their attention and their education to our students' needs, but also just the background and the accolades they have. We have a statistic that says that 70% of our instructors have doctorates, but those other 30% are leaders in their field equally. So anyone who's teaching a course with you here is top in their fields, very engaged in keeping up with current marketing trends and discourse. So can't state enough how fantastic our faculty are. And speaking of faculty, Teo, kind of some of the themes I've heard a little bit from Hermé and Tomas are the pandemic. A lot of people started during the pandemic. Most of our courses are offered online. How have you found that both yourself and students in your class have built community while engaging in distance learning?
Well, thank you, and thank you, Tomas. By the way, wonderful to see you and to hear of your successes. And this speaks to the network that we form. Hermé and Tomas have both pointed out that one of the strengths of the Extension School is the flexibility, because we do have students that are working full time, that have family commitments, and they're busy people. They're out there doing great things, and the Extension School is built around supporting that effort. And so the courses that I teach, so I mentioned I teach live every week. I'm with the students and I get to interact. We have those sessions, but they're all recorded and they're all available so that if we have students from around the world that aren't able to make it to a live session, or if they're just busy during that particular moment, they're able to still then participate fully in the class and interact with their peers. We always make time for people to chat with each other during our live sessions, but we also have a robust discussion group that happens on our Canvas course, the website for our courses. And what I would say is even more exciting is, and not surprising because it's Harvard students, is the Harvard students connect with each other. So when you join the Harvard community, you're not just joining the cohort that happens to be the people enrolled in your class. You are joining a vibrant and robust community that's already in existence. And so one of the common ways at this moment that people are communicating is through WhatsApp. And just by virtue of one example, we do have an on-campus weekend. So we bring students from around the world to join us in an on-campus simulation, a real estate investment simulation that we do. This most recent one, we had a bunch of students drop in who were not in our course, but they were previously enrolled in our courses, but they were all connected with each other. So when they heard that there was going to be a group of us coming on campus, they checked in advance, by the way, but I got emails saying, hey, we heard you're going to be on campus. We heard that there's the cohort's going to be here. Can we come meet them? And so our students not only got to meet each other in the class, they got to meet that broader community that they were a part of. And so my message would be that when you join Harvard Extension School, you are joining an existing robust community that goes on long after you're done with the classes. You still are a part of Harvard. And for me, that's as exciting as it can get.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'd like to say too, the example you provided, although it's extraordinary, it's not uncommon. We hear that all the time, that people living in different countries, in different time zones, they maybe meet up during an active learning weekend and they start a nonprofit together, or maybe they start a business together using the innovation lab, or they're going to be in someone's wedding. So we hear all the time about these community connections that are not only happening within the classroom, but outside the classroom and beyond their degree. So I think that's a perfect example to kind of highlight the community here. And Laura, kind of branching off of that a bit, could you tell us a bit more about some of the networking connections that students have access to online, in person during some of our in-person opportunities, and maybe even after they graduate our degree programs? Oop, and I think you actually might be on mute.
Yes, you would think after the pandemic, I would have nailed this one by now. So I'm actually going to have Lynn, can you turn off your mic and join me for this? And the reason being is there are so many different ways in which you can engage. But what I will say, kind of going back to this flexibility, is you have the opportunity to engage, right? So I always say you really get out of it what you put into it. So really think about where you want to put your time, your energy, and your effort. And I have to say that when you do, whether it be in the classroom or out, you will reap the rewards. There are a number of different opportunities. Let me just talk about some of them outside of the classroom. We have the Office of Student Affairs that offers a number of different outings, especially when you come from maybe Teos or another instructor's intensive weekend. And so what's really great is we've scheduled those so that you can attend the weekend, you meet a whole bunch of new folks, and then you get to go together to an outing and maybe to a local watering hole and get to have some appetizers and talk about some of the readings. We also have opportunities for degree candidates. You have a library card, you have access to the gyms. You can have access to Harvard iLab. I know that Lynn had mentioned that also you have the opportunity to engage with instructors on research projects. And then also, I want to just highlight the fact that there are so many different ways in which students engage with each other and learn with one another. So whether that be in the classroom, a lot of times people say, oh, well, I live in Seattle too. And so what they'll do is they'll just end up connecting at local coffee shops and gatherings. So there's plenty of opportunities. But Lynn, help augment some of the ways, especially given your role as a former academic advisor.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of things I want to mention. Number one, we have the Gather study lounges in our online classrooms now, which are open 24/7. So that's a great way to just drop in and interact virtually with your classmates. Laura really hit the nail on the head when she said, you get out what you put in. So, just put yourself out there, and that's just the best way to meet people. We have various student clubs. We do have a management and finance club. We have an industrial organizational psychology student society. The Harvard Extension Alumni Association, they host events throughout the year. And I want to point out that those events, most of them are typically open to current degree candidates. So I would definitely reach out if there's an event you want to attend and jump in there. And that's a great way to meet alumni as well. And I think it's helpful if I kind of talk a little bit about my own personal experience as a student. Just a couple of examples. In one of my pre-admission courses, before I was an admitted degree candidate, I was in a group, a small group of about 5 students working on a group project. And, sometimes I hear people say, oh, group projects, kind of difficult. Well, I met one person who I've remained friends with for many years. Lovely, lovely person who lives only a few miles away. And we stayed in touch all these years later. Years after I had finished my degree, his wife decided to pursue the management master's degree, and I was her academic advisor. And so it's just so lovely how, you stay in touch with these people. These are lifelong friends. I have another friend who was the president of our management and finance club who I've stayed good friends with. And he joined a professional society for industrial organizational psychology. And I thought, geez, I'd love to do that too. So I did. And now I'm very involved in it. And it's great. So just, you don't even have, I'm an introvert. And so but even so, just putting yourself out there just a little bit, look at all these opportunities that open up for you. So I recommend saying hello to your classmates means a lot.
I love to hear that. And I think it's so true too that so many people here at the extension school wear multiple hats. So I know both Laura and Lynn, they also completed their degrees here. A lot of our instructors also kind of come back and teach, or people will come on and work for the extension school. So you'll have people in your classes who are somehow also involved in other things. So it's really great to see that that community is extending far beyond just that classroom. And you both mentioned so many great opportunities, both inside and outside the classroom. And I wanted to hear from Erme. Could you tell us a little bit about how you balance all of these great academic opportunities outside the classroom, outside of the classroom opportunities with life commitments? You mentioned that you're an emergency medicine doctor, you have 3 children. How did you do it all? And do you have any tips for our students who are thinking of going back to school and, still balancing their life commitments?
Thank you for that question, Jacqueline. Now, before I jump into that question, I really want to touch a little bit on the question Laura and Lynn just answered in terms of the network and the connections. It's amazing. Like Lynn had mentioned, the Harvard iLab, I did not know how amazing this was. As a physician, I saw a problem one day at work about a device that I thought I would like to create. I said, this is an amazing tool. Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to do? I went through Harvard's iLab and I got to speak to 2 multimillionaires who are already in that space. They gave me 30 minutes of their time free of charge. This is, we'll talk with you. You look through this idea. We will work with you at no charge. It was amazing. And this is the community connections that we get. Another one, just to throw it out there, yesterday doing my thing, one of my classmates in my leadership class called me. She says, hey, I have an interview at 3 p.m. They just called me. It's at a hospital. What question should I be asking? I says, I got you, girl. And we went through a few things and she did phenomenally. But these are the community connections we get. We become a family, essentially. So that's that to add to that question. Now, talking about how we balance family emergency medicine, wearing multiple hats, I'll tell you what, the first thing first is the support we've already gotten from our faculty. You don't just come in as a student and you're thrown out there. I remember when I first started all of this, I got an enrollment coach, a Harvard enrollment coach. I'm like, what is this? Like, that's amazing. And so even from the enrollment process, someone walks you through, says, all right, this is what you need to do. These are the things you will need to have. How is life going for you? How are we going to balance this? Is this something you can work with? Are you biting off more than you can chew? What can we do for you? How may we serve you? That was amazing. So that set the tone for me to say, okay, this is where I'm at. Looking realistically speaking, what do I need to do to make sure I'm able to complete this program in this time range? And my coach worked with me. And then when I finally got admitted, I had got the opportunity to work with Cara Crouch, who was here too. And she, every so often we would meet and like, okay, this is where you are. This is where you're going. What do you need? Amazing. So with that in place, it was just for me to balance mommyhood and everything else, being a wife and all of that. But the resources that Harvard Extension School puts in place for you is so amazing that, it's, I wouldn't say it's a walk in a park, but if you have the mind to do this, you have all the resources to make it happen. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. And Tomas, I wanted to know if you could briefly speak on your experience. Do you have a similar experience kind of balancing academics with your other life responsibilities at the extension school?
Yes, for sure. I'm also a father to 3 little children, 2-year-old, 4, and 7. So that I have a lot on my plate. I'm a financial advisor, and you do need to balance things out. Okay. In my personal experience, okay, I relied a lot on the video recording sessions. Okay, so what I did is that I woke up early every day just to see what was the class the day before, and then I'm a 5 a.m. club guy. Okay, so from 5 a.m. to 6:30, I did all my studies throughout the week, and sometimes that was enough. And then when the midterm came or the final exam came, I relied a lot on the weekends, but as Erwin was saying, I also rely a lot on my academic advisor, okay, because she advised me in what courses were good, or seeing what you're looking for. You could take this course right now, maybe 2 or 3 is too much. So my recommendation for any student is, okay, if you're thinking about taking this adventure, start with one course, okay, and see how that experience falls, okay. And if you see you can manage, you ace it, you got A plus, take 2 courses the next semester, okay. And maybe take the courses that target the certificate, okay. So if you get tired, well, at least you have the certificate, and then if not, then just keep going on the degree all the way. So I think the tools are out there, and since it adapts to the time that each person has, there's no excuse for not trying, basically.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And you actually just answered a question that I've seen come through the chat time and time again, which is how many courses should I take a semester? How much work do I actually have a week? So thank you for answering that. And before we wrap up with our last question, Laura, I wanted to ask you just very briefly if you could talk about the workload per course. People are kind of asking, how much time per week should I dedicate to a course? How many courses should I take a semester? And how long do I actually have to complete a degree?
Sure, sure. I just want to give a shout out to Ere and Tomas. They are exemplary, fabulous students, and you really get a sense of our community, right? 84% of our students work full time. As you notice that they're balancing professional careers, their parents, their partners, they have busy lives. And what's so inspiring about the work that we all get to do is at Extension is we get to have impact. We get to extend Harvard, and also people's families get to see them working. And professionally, you can take these skill sets directly into the workplace immediately, so that it's that instant ROI. But I want to echo some of the words that, Ermi said. It's not a walk in the park. And what I mean by that is you're not buying a degree, you're earning a degree. It is hard work, dedication, but look, we're here for you. We have touch points all the way through your career, right? So it's, as Ermi mentioned, right? There's an enrollment coach, and they want to make sure this is the right fit for you. This isn't a sales position. This is, how can we help you? What does this look like? What's the fit? Then you go through an admissions advisor. Then you go through an academic advisor. Then you have your alumni once you're gone. So once you're in the fold, you're with us. Also, I want to let you know, you have fabulous academic advisors and instructors all the way through who are rooting for your success. I also want to throw in the fact that we also have some policies ingrained in our system to also support the fact that you have busy lives, and we know that. So you can take up to 2 withdrawals without a penalty. Again, as Tomas, I thought it was great hearing from a fellow student to say, look, if you're just starting out, start with 1 course, right? Get a sense of what the time commitment is. I will say that with my advisor, my academic director cap on, is that we structure these courses so it's about 30 contact hours of each course. And also, that's not including time that you need to be doing homework, that you'll be doing team projects. Also, start with a course that draws on your strength. Get a sense of the time commitment. Then also work with your advisor to say, hey, I'm either expecting a child or I have some big work projects coming up. How should I shift my study schedule? Also wanted to let you know that you have up to 5 years to complete your degree from your 3rd qualifying course. Also, our management, finance, and industrial organizational psychology students are very dedicated, and the average time to complete degree is 3.5 years. Lastly, I just want to mention the fact that we realize that people are global. They're all over. They're working hard. They're on the road. They're at soccer games. So what we try to do is we have synchronous, asynchronous, on-campus options. We also offer classes during the day, Eastern Standard Time, to support students who may be joining us in a different time zone. So these are some of the ways in which we really try to support a diverse and talented and global learning environment.
Perfect, Laura. That was a comprehensive answer to that question. So thank you so much. And we have time for one last question. Thank you all for joining us today. The question is, why should someone join our management, finance, industrial organizational psychology community? So if everyone in this roundtable could give a 1 to 2 sentence response to that question. I know it's going to be very hard. That would be a great way to kind of just conclude our roundtable, and then we'll provide you all with some contact information for follow-up. So, Teo, could you tell us briefly why someone should join this community?
Sure. Because you're joining a community that is infused with intentionality. Students don't accidentally come to the Extension School. They arrive with purpose. They're here because they want to make a difference in the world, and they're equipping themselves with the tools and the connections to go out and do it. And so when students come to me and they say, you know, what can I expect? What you can expect is a powerful, meaningful experience. The world needs your talent more than ever. It needs your talent. It is waiting for you to share that with the world. And my question for all students and for all of you who are watching this is truly, what are you waiting for? We're excited to see you, and I appreciate your time.
I love that. Thank you so much. And I have to say, hearing you on this panel, I might have to take one of your classes. So thank you so much. Next is Aramik. Can you tell us a bit about why someone should join this community?
The Harvard Extension IO Psych program is not just a degree. It's not just a program. It is a family. We know this not just for its global reputation or for its social impact, but the academic rigor and the expertise provided by the world-class faculty. You know, as an emergency room physician, the ability to lead and manage people is not only quintessential, it can be life or death. This program has made me a more effective leader and person. The IO Psych program is not just a place to grow. It is not just a place to connect. It is a place to become.
I love that too. Thank you so much. I know you are inspiring us all up here. Tomas, if you could go next.
Harvard is something that is undescribable. Okay, every student, okay, whether they're in college or they are in their professional field, know that Harvard sets the standard. Harvard raises the bar. Okay, and if you've come to this place, it's not by coincidence. Okay, it's because you have in your hands the opportunity, okay, to basically change your career or even your life. Okay, so again, since all the options are there, okay, there's literally not an excuse for not trying to be your better self.
Love that too. Thank you. And Lynn, if you could go next.
Yeah. So I've gotten a Harvard education that was accessible on my time while I balanced my work and my family. And I made some wonderful friends along the way, lifelong friends that I am learning from as well. And so it's just a wonderful, all-encompassing, holistic education.
I love to hear that. And last but not least, Laura, if you could tell us why someone should join our community.
Yeah, it's transformative. You know, you will transform yourself, you transform others, and you'll transform the world. And I echo Teo's, what are you waiting for? The world needs you, the community needs you, and we welcome you. So we really hope that if this is a good fit for you, that you come and join us.
Perfect. Thank you. And what a great way to end this roundtable. So thank you all for your insight into the management programs and the finance programs and IOP programs. And thank you all today for your thoughtful questions for our panel. If we weren't able to get to your question or more arise, please contact us at inquiry@extension.harvard.edu or call us at 617-495-4024. Make sure to also follow our social media to stay updated on deadlines, hear student testimonials, and learn more about our offerings. I want to remind you of a few key dates for the upcoming fall 2020 term. So July 22nd is the fall term registration date, which starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. The fall term payment deadline is August 19th. The fall term course registration deadline is August 29th. So definitely try to register before then so you can join us this fall. And lastly, fall term classes will begin starting on September 3rd. If you'd like to learn more about how to balance academics with other work and life commitments, like our students talked about today, we are going to be having a webinar on August 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for our panel discussion, which is called Setting Yourself Up for Success at HES. So if you want to scan that QR code or look at the link we just dropped in the chat, you can sign up for that webinar. And lastly, just a reminder that we are recording today's webinar, and that will be emailed to you in about a week and a half. It will also be accessible on our event page and our YouTube channel. Thank you so much again for joining us today. We're so grateful that you are here, and we hope to see you in classes very soon.